Good morning, children. Today you will revise chapter combustion. All of you have seen burning of coal, wood, paper, candle, etc. So, a substance that burns in presence of air or oxygen and produces heat energy is called a fuel, like petrol, diesel, kerosene, paper, etc. You have seen that some materials produce flame on burning and some materials do not produce flame on burning. Like candle produces flame on burning and other materials do not produce flame on burning. Like when you burn kerosene, will it produce flame or not? When you burn some materials, they do not produce flame. Like when you burn wood, it will not produce flame. So, a fuel is a substance which burns in presence of oxygen or air and produces heat energy. And this process is called combustion. Combustion is a chemical process in which a substance burns in air and produces heat and light energy. Now you will see, children, the combustible material is also called fuel. In the activity, name of some materials are given. You have already read which material is combustible and which is non-combustible. Like substances like rubber, iron nail, these are non-combustible material. And matchstick, paper, straw, these are combustible material because they burn and they produces heat energy. Now, what are the conditions required for combustion? There are mainly three conditions required for combustion. First is presence of combustible material. If you want to burn iron, it will not burn. But if you want to burn matchstick, paper, it will burn. So, first condition is requirement of presence of combustible material. Second is presence of supporter of combustion. Okay, when you burn a candle, you cover it with a chimney. You will see when you burn candle, it will burn properly. But when you cover it with a chimney, then the soot will be deposited because there is insufficient oxygen. But the candle will burn. Now, if you cover the chimney with a cardboard, the candle will turn off. Why? Because of absence of supporter of combustion. So, oxygen is present in the air that supports combustion. Second condition is presence of supporter of combustion, that is oxygen. And third condition for combustion is attainment of ignition temperature. Ignition temperature is the temperature at minimum temperature at which a substance catches fire. So, the ignition temperature should be attained by the combustible material. Ignition temperature is also known as kindling temperature. So, these are the three conditions required for combustion. Next topic is what are the name different types of combustion. There are four types of combustion. First is slow combustion, next rapid combustion, then spontaneous combustion and explosive combustion. In slow combustion, the combustible material burns at a slow rate. Due to insufficient supply of oxygen, there is incomplete combustion like burning of wood, burning of cow dung cake, etc. Next is rapid combustion, in which the combustible material burns very fast. and it takes place in sufficient oxygen. So there is complete combustion. Like gaseous fuels show rapid combustion. Next is spontaneous combustion. It is a type of combustion in which a combustible material catches fire even at room temperature. Like you have seen, you have studied, white phosphorus catches fire spontaneously, immediately, even at room temperature. Its ignition temperature is 35 degrees Celsius, and during the summer season, the temperature, room temperature rises to 35 degrees Celsius. So white phosphorus catches fire spontaneously. It is an example of spontaneous combustion. Next type of combustion is explosive combustion, in which a combustible mixture of combustible material and air burns completely in a short span of time and in a closed space. Like you have seen burning of cracker. The combustible material and air burns in a closed space and in a short span of time, and huge amount of heat, light and sound energy is produced. So it is explosive combustion. Now you will see, children, that you have studied that ignition temperature is very important. That is the condition of combustion. So question is, why does a paper cup filled with water does not catch fire when it is kept on spirit lamp? So you will see the ignition temperature of paper is low. If it is not filled with water and you burn it, it catches fire immediately. But when you fill the paper cup with water and put it on the spirit lamp, it does not catch fire, because when you heat the paper cup, the heat is supplied to the water. A part of heat of paper cup is supplied to water, so the paper cup does not achieve its ignition temperature. It's very important question. When you burn a paper cup, it catches fire immediately. But when you burn paper cup filled with water, then why does not it catch fire? It is very important. So ignition temperature of paper cup filled with water is not achieved, so it does not catch fire, but an empty paper cup catches fire immediately because its ignition temperature is low. Now you have read, children, that the how can we control fire? We can control fire by removing the combustible material, because you know, children, like LPG gas cylinder or kerosene, these are combustible material. If these things are available near the fireplace, immediately we should remove it. Next, we can control fire by cutting off the supply of air. Suppose if anything has caught fire, if you wrap it with blanket, what will happen? The supply of air will be cut off, and due to lack of oxygen, the fire can be controlled. Next thing is, we can control fire by controlling the ignition temperature, and we can use a device, fire extinguisher, to control the fire. You have read soda acid fire extinguisher, in which there is a bottle filled with concentrated sulfuric acid, and that metallic body contains sodium bicarbonate. When you strike the fire extinguisher with the help of plunger on a hard surface, the bottle breaks down and it comes in contact with sodium bicarbonate solution. So reaction takes place between concentrated sulfuric acid and sodium bicarbonate solution, and sodium sulfate, water, and carbon dioxide is formed. This carbon dioxide is heavier than air. So it will form a blanket and it is cutting off the supply of oxygen. And water will also lower the ignition temperature. So soda acid fire extinguisher is used to extinguish the fire. But if the fire is due to electric circuit, it is caused by an electric short circuit, it should not be extinguished by pouring water or carbon dioxide form, because the electric current will flow through water, as water is a good conductor of electricity, and it will give severe electric shock which may be fatal. So water should not be used in case of fire due to electric short circuit. Then what can we do? We can use a type of fire extinguisher. It is carbon tetrachloride fire extinguisher, which can extinguish the fire due to electric short circuit. Or we can turn off the main switch. This is also useful. Now what happens when there is incomplete combustion? Due to incomplete combustion, unburned carbon particles are produced, which passes into the atmosphere and it causes air pollution. Next thing is, due to incomplete combustion, carbon monoxide gas is produced, which is highly poisonous and it may be fatal. Due to suffocation, we may die. As you know that carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin and it forms carboxyhemoglobin, and it disturbs the transportation of oxygen, and due to suffocation we can die. So due to incomplete combustion of fuel, the pollution of air may take place, and due to suffocation we may die. Next topic is flame. A flame is a region where burning of gases take place. All of you have seen burning of candle. There are three zones in a flame. Non-luminous zone, which is the outermost zone where complete combustion of wax vapors take place. It is the hottest zone. Next is middle zone, which is also known as luminous zone. It is moderately hot. Here a lot of heat energy is produced, and in this zone partial combustion of wax vapors take place. It is moderately hot zone. And next one is innermost zone, which is also known as dark zone, and in this zone the unburnt wax vapors are given off by the molten wax, and it is the coldest part of the flame. So you have seen these three zones and what happens in each zone. Next topic is what is calorific value of a fuel? When we burn 1 kilogram of a fuel in air, sufficient air, we get certain amount of heat energy. The heat produced by burning 1 kilogram of a fuel in the presence of air, we get certain amount of heat energy. That amount of heat energy is called calorific value of a fuel, and the unit of calorific value of a fuel is kilojoule per kilogram. Now what are the characteristics of a good fuel? A fuel has some characteristics like it is cheap, it is easy to store, easy to transport, easy to handle, it can be easily ignited, and its calorific value is high, its ignition temperature is low, and it does not produce smoke on burning, it does not leave behind ashes on burning, and it does not produce any pollutant. Okay, so all these characteristics are the characteristics of a good fuel. A good fuel has low ignition temperature, high calorific value, easy to store, easy to transport, easy to handle. It is controllable, complete combustion takes place and this combustion is controllable. All these are the characteristics of a good fuel. If you compare solid, liquid and gaseous fuels are the best fuels because they have all these characteristics. Gaseous fuels like LPG, CNG, biogas, producer gas, all these are gaseous fuels and they can be transported through pipelines. Transportation is easy, it is cheap, it is controllable, so it has high calorific value, low ignition temperature. So gaseous fuels are the best fuels. Now, what are the harmful effects of fuels? As you know that fuels on burning releases carbon dioxide and this carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. It increases the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere. It causes global warming. Next, you have read, children, that burning of coal, diesel, it produces sulfur dioxide gas which dissolves in water vapor to produce sulfuric acid. And when it runs, the acid produced can damage building. It may be dangerous for the aquatic plants and animals also. So acid rain is very harmful. It may cause marble cancer and this acid rain is caused due to burning of fuel. So it is the harmful effect of fuel. Next, you have read that the incomplete combustion of fuel may form carbon monoxide gas and if we inhale carbon monoxide, it may be fatal because it causes suffocation. So all these are the harmful effects of fuels. Once again I am summarizing. It may cause global warming, it may cause acid rain, it may cause suffocation due to which we may die, and all these are the harmful effects of fuels. So all of you will revise the chapter and you will learn all the activities given in the book. These activities are very important. Thank you, children.